Hey everybody, this is Tom from the Small Scale Gardening channel. Welcome to the show. We are in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is east of the Twin Cities, about an hour and a half or so. And we're at the Forest Street Community Garden. I like to do these garden tours because you can learn a little bit of something, something new every time you go to a garden. So this is a community garden here on the banks of the Eau Claire River, just north of downtown. And lots of interesting things happening here. We're late in the season. It's almost Thanksgiving 2023. Obviously, we haven't had plants in the ground for a while just because the season's over. We are cold, getting cooler anyway. We've had an unusually warm fall, but up here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, once you get to a certain point, frost comes in. In our area, it's about October 10th, and that effectively shuts gardens down. So looks like a lot of interesting things happening. I mean, this is kind of the aftermath, but fairly large garden area. I mean, it stretches all the way from kind of that fence line over there, and I'll walk over there and talk about that in a second, all the way to that white building down there. Looks like fairly large garden plots. You know, we've seen different tours here where I've taken you into different towns, different gardens, and most of them have like a, I don't know, 10 by 12 plot or even a 4 by 8 garden, raised garden bed. These look fairly large. I mean, I'm not sure, but this whole space here looks like one plot. I could be wrong. Never been here during the summer. I have no clue. So it's hard to tell how big their spaces are. Here we got dill. Looks like, what is that? Some kale maybe? Onions, green onions are still going over there. And those might be carrots. Some herbs over there. Wow, cabbage is still in the ground, and this kale is still going. Kale is one of those things that'll keep growing and actually gets a little better in the cold, in the cooler weather. So, yeah, it's hard to say how big the plots are. I mean, this might be just, maybe this is just it right here, right? That seems about right. You know, probably about 20 feet long by 10 by 20. So you can get a lot in a space like that. And what you're seeing here, people have brought in their leaf mulch. This is grass, but a lot of it is leaves. The leaves have been dropping like crazy. So people bring in their leaf mulch and it creates some really good, here we go. Nice. German hard garlic. It's in this row. Garlic, more garlic. So we got their garlic in already, and that is fantastic. There's another row of garlic right here. So kudos on them. Get those plants in early, and I've done that. I've even planted it in November, and it's come up in the spring, and it's been awesome. So good on these folks, getting after it. Really nice. Garlic, garlic, garlic. More leaf mulch. And I use it a lot. This year's been a bit off just because I don't have my beds in. But I love using leaf mulch. It creates a really good material, composting material for your garden. But yeah, I like the paths made of wood chips. Makes for easy walking. It's nice to see people have their plants in already. Got watering systems, always a key, right? Light, nutrients, and water, critical for growing plants. That's what you need. So I'm glad these places have done a lot of thinking about setting up their watering system. So this big X in front of us, there's a sign over here that says it's a pollinator garden. planted in October 2023. So next year, or even the next couple years, it's going to be a lot of fun to come back and see what pops up here. So not a lot of detail on what they put in. Pavilion is interesting over there, interesting structure, but it's a nice gathering spot for folks. Probably store some materials over there. I know they have about 6 wheelbarrows over here. So this must be a pretty poppin' spot in the summer. But well taken care of. Kale is still going. Yeah, gotta love it. So people use the fencing here, roll it up at the end of the season. I'll have to come back next year in the summer to see how this looks and what people are growing. It's always fun to see. Yep, the dill. It's always fun to see gardens in full bloom, much better than now where it's all torn up. But you can still learn something, right? Absolutely. Let's go check this portion over here. More leaf mulch. Awesome. It's a great way to use that material, and it's free. You just got to work hard at getting it all in place. Hopefully, oh, deer came walking through here. So I wonder how much is lost with deer. Someone didn't get in and clean up their stuff. We can see what they were growing. Squash, peppers, tomatoes, corn. That's probably why the deer were here. Herbs. There we go. More kale, Brussels sprouts. These are Brussels sprouts. Broccoli. So yeah, a little more eclectic here. More kale over there. Someone's growing milkweed. Again, the butterflies, pollinators. Pretty neat. Yeah. It's a little mix and mash. Kind of fun to see what people have. Composting over there. Compost bins, always critical. So those folks have to take their compost way over here. Interesting. I figured maybe they would have one closer, but you know, whatever. Yeah, just interesting to see these plots. Somebody lost their hat, Menards hat. We know all about Menards. Absolutely. So yeah, someone was doing straw bale gardening. Let's take a look at that. These folks are interesting here. They have raised beds, mounds. You'll see this a lot of urban farmers do this kind of thing. They can straddle work the bed and work down the bed. These are a little wider, probably about 36 inches, so could be a little tough to do, but very nicely done. And then they can just come down the aisle, work both sides. Awesome. Those folks used hay for cover. Okay, here's a pathway here. So this is something that some folks in Minnesota wrote a book about it, but straw bale gardening, they plant right in straw or the hay, and it works. I've seen people grow all kinds of stuff with this method. I have never tried it, so I couldn't tell you if it works or not, because I've never tried it, but it looks like it looks like it works. People I've seen that have done it. So just a different way of doing it. Again, nutrients, moisture, or water, and sun, and you can grow in anything, in anywhere. Sunflowers, they're done. Picked clean, very good. So yeah, it's a big garden space. No idea how many members they have. We'll have to do some research on that. Let's check out the compost stuff. Compost yard over here in the corner. So yeah, here you go. Nice compost area. And they chip stuff up, strain it. Their little chipper here, that's cool. It's always a good thing to break down that bigger matter, bigger stuff. No weeds, no invasive stuff. That's good. Future compost. Pretty big bins. And you can just keep on cycling through it. Very nice. Tractor, or the it's not a BCS, but rototiller. I had one of those. Got rid of that when we got rid of the farm. What's this over here? Asparagus. Take me down to your asparagus fields. La ti ti ti. Asparagus fields forever. Lots of asparagus. I've never seen it done like this. Kind of cool. And they haven't taken theirs down. Interesting. So lots of asparagus here. All this is asparagus. And we've got a little patch at the landing, but I've got some decorative grass that's coming. Kind of gets crowding that out. So I'll have to check that out as we move forward. Oop, there goes a rabbit. And then more, there he goes, up over there. More beds over here. So very cool oak right there too. So very cool. This is a big place, big space, a couple buildings, storage, lots of fencing stored. Pretty cool. Potting bench that looks like it's seen better days. Oh, yes, those wretched things. If you've been around me, you know these are the devil. I hate those. They're just never big enough. They're never tall enough. They don't work for me. So all kinds of different fencing, chicken wire. So that keeps out the rabbits and helps stuff trellis. But I don't see anything big enough to keep out deer. Be interesting to have that conversation. And there we go. Very cool. So here we go. Community garden in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Late season, almost Thanksgiving 2023. And it just goes and goes. So, you know, if you don't have space, if you don't have room for a garden, maybe you consider getting a garden plot at a community garden and build community, grow some food, grow your community, grow your food, right? Make some friends, learn a few things. It's an option out there. And like I said, every time you visit a garden, you learn something new, right? You learn something new. So this is Tom from Small Scale Gardening. Remember to learn, do, grow, be a little better every day. Go out, check out your local community garden. You never know what you'll find and what you'll learn. We'll be back real soon. Take care, everybody.